Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, this is the beginning stages of the Pyrex guitar that I'm going to dub the Les Pyrex. So if you want to see how it turns into a Starburst Les Paul type guitar, stick around and subscribe. So the first part of this journey is going to be picking out a color theme, and as you can see, we're going to try and match the Starburst Pyrex, and I picked out Folk Art Gels watercolor, and this is, I believe, sea glass color, and it's pretty close. It's a little bit greener. It's weird, the camera doesn't really show the colors correctly, but that's where we're going with it. And since this is the first step in the long process, I'm going to try to see how this reacts to wood. And this is supposed to be a translucent watercolor, meaning you can see the wood underneath it. The directions on the bottle say if you put on full strength, it will act like a paint and it will cover everything. It also states if you add water to it, it becomes lighter and more transparent. So let's try it out on a piece of trim that I took off and see what happens. So here you can see I already had put some on, and full strength it was pretty transparent. You can still see the grain. I put a second coat on just to make sure, and it actually looks pretty decent and pretty close to the colors I want. It's a little more bluer on the board than on the paper towel. We'll just have to see how it looks when it's dried. And as I said, the directions said that if it went on full strength, which this was, that it would be opaque and you couldn't see through it, but you clearly see the grain. So I decided, well, I'll try it with a little bit of water, like it says, which says it will adjust the translucent properties of it, and it should be a clearer or lighter color. And so I just put it in a cup, and maybe I used way too much water, as you can see here, but I thought that was very little water. I mean, it's just a small splash. And I swirled it around and swirled it around until it was pretty much all dissolved into the color. So coming up here, you can see that now it's pretty much all dissolved in. It's the same color. Water looks the same as it does coming out in like the gel form of the bottle. And then I'm going to wipe it on the trim, and surprising to me, it completely ran off. It did not. I just used a paper towel. I was trying to wipe it on like I did in the other, and it did not do anything. It had no color to it. It just ran down, and that was it. Well, right there I had the paper towel soaked. I tried it with just a small amount. Maybe it would look different, but that's where I tried it with a smaller amount. You can see it just kind of left a sheen. It didn't really, there was no transition. So maybe using way less water, just a tiniest little bit, would make it a little more transparent. Not just water, but I mean, it was a water-based product, so maybe I didn't use enough product or the water, but I mean, you can see there it's looking pretty decent. The next step will be to see how this looks with the grain popped. I'm going to dye it black, part of the board, and sand it back, and then go over it with the gel again. And I also want to try spraying clear on gel that is soaked in and see if there's a color change. I mean, this is not the wood that I'm going to be using, but I just want to see what it is. If anyone has used this before or has any thoughts, please let me know. Thanks for watching. See you soon for more in this series coming up.